like one only song, but a big song, and his transition and so on?
Well, yeah, because it started actually, in fact, ironically, the first bit of The Dark was recorded live. I did it, in fact, I was in Jan Pearson's house. I was bored because I was waiting for them. I was just on my own. And I started toying around with some new software. And I just recorded, I just played some things live, and the first sort of, 35 minutes came almost quickly, but then I had to fill it out with things. But that explains why it's a sort of common theme. I don't know why, because I don't really, with Third Eye Foundation, I don't really make so much plans. It's just me and a computer, and in the old days I used to sequence on a sampler. I never used computers. I was quite suspicious of them, which gave me a lot of work to do. It was really hard to do things, the kind of stuff that I was doing on sequences. I used to spend all night putting in little snare drums and things, literally all night. So I get my head down and I start throwing things, and then you just take the things off. But there's not a master plan. I didn't plan it to be 5 tracks that run together, and I didn't plan it necessarily to be what it was. It just kind of evolved. And weirdly, with the Third Eye Foundation thing, I don't have much memory of it. I don't remember recording You Guys Kill Me so much either. I remember like hearing something, thinking, "Oh, this is good. This is going somewhere." But then you sort of follow it, but you're so busy following it and getting into the details, you're not analysing what you're doing. So always with Third Eye Foundation, it's different with Matter because of course it's different processes and stuff. But I only remember, Ghost I can remember recording because that was very, very hard work, and that was over a lot of time and very intense work, and I sort of deliberately drove myself as crazy as it's possible to drive myself to try and get on to the dark side or something. And I do remember that, and it was absolute hell. And I think that started a theme. Well, no, some texts are the same as well, actually, because I was sort of, in fact, yeah, they're all like that. Yeah, they are all like that, because you start off and then just go, yeah, this is going something exactly like that. I'm nearly finished. I've been doing it for 4 days. And then, what do you want?
Oh, sorry. Just my laptop. Look nice.
I know, it's nice. And then I drive myself crazy because then I have to sort of make it as perfect as possible, but there's no such thing as perfection.
Yeah.
You get to the point where you just listen to it again and again and again and again and again, and you're thinking, well, it needs to be changed, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
You can start zooming into so many details, and you have to literally stop yourself doing it, because otherwise you spend the rest of your life literally just moving this thing and this thing and this thing, and then of course once it's mastered you regret not doing that, because you think, oh fuck, that thing's too loud, well, that's too quiet, that sounds a bit weird. But so it was the same with the dark, and that's the thing that sort of amused me about it, was I got to that point again at the end. Like I can always remember that point at the end, when you're just staring at the screen and looking at the things moving, and you're just going, and you drive yourself crazy with it. But anyway, so that's not really an answer to your question, but it's the best I can do.
Okay. What about the title? Because ironically, I found it less dark than You Guys Kill Me, for example.
Well, I don't know, because the titles are always the tricky things, and with Third Eye Foundation in the old days I used to try and make like funny things, because exactly, it's a dark record, but I don't want people thinking, oh, this guy has got no sense of humour. I've got a good sense of humour, at least I think. I like to laugh a lot, and I quite like to make the puns, but with the dark, I don't know, it didn't seem relevant to come up, and actually it was literally the last thing I came up with all the titles, and I think the album title was the very last one, and nothing came, and I just thought the dark is a good thing, because the other thing I like with Third Eye Foundation is that I like things open to interpretation. So the dark, it could mean the dark, or it just mean the dark when you turn the light off, or you know, it can mean lots of different things, and so each person will take their own little thing, and I really like that in music, because then you forge your own relationship. Again, the same with the whole noise thing, and then you the listener, deconstruct it in your own sweet way, and that might be different from someone else. So yeah, I like to leave that open to interpretation. That's why some of the early Matt Elliott songs have very few lyrics, because you can take the lyric to mean what you want. You can mean it as a personal thing, or as a societal thing, or anything else. But anyway.
Yes, same thing for the last song of the album with the word terrorist.
Yes, well,
I thought, what?
Well, that's my one political statement to say, because I'm sick of it. I'm sick of being treated like a criminal and terrorist. I don't even suffer that badly. I would hate to be a young Arab lad right now, because they must be suffering so much with stopped and harassed and all the rest of it. And it's I hate this. In France, in Spain, in England, we've had terrorism since the 40s, 50s, and 60s. But only now has it turned into this sort of thing, and it opens a door for racism. Really, I've seen it happen, and it's tragic, because I grew up. The 80s were quite a racist time in England, and of course, you know, growing up in school, I was fortunate to have a school that was a multicultural school, and so of course you see the folly of racism. And actually, music is another thing that teaches you that to be nationalistic or patriotic or racist or elitist in any way is nonsense, because I've been moved to tears by Chopin, and also a woman in a Vietnamese boat singing, and Aboriginal music. That music from all through time and all over the world touches you, and so that means that we are related, and that's a common thread. Is music that makes me cry will also make someone else cry. Even if they live in a jungle and they've never heard music, they'll recognise it as sad. And so that's a fundamental concept that we all, something that always not amuses me, it's not the right word, but for example, Jewish music and Arabic music is incredibly similar. They're full of very similar rules, and they have so much in common that it's ironic that everything else they don't have in common.
Yeah.
But anyway. And so it's a double thing. I hate this obsession with terrorism. I personally don't believe it exists. I believe that it was. I don't believe that terrorists can do things like fly planes into buildings. It's impossible to do it without help from someone. It's absolutely impossible. America is supposed to be the most secure nation in the world. They've got all kinds of things. NORAD and all the rest of it to stop exactly this kind of thing happening. And I spend a lot of time researching these kind of things, because it interests me apart from anything, and I've got time on my hands.
Yeah.
And the conclusion I came to is that it can't possibly happen the way that it's been said. And the same for the London attacks. The Spanish one is a bit more difficult, because I don't understand Spanish, so I like to read in the original things and not have things translated. But people have told me some very strange things about the Madrid bombing as well. And very strangely, the socialists got in with Zapatero, who no one had heard of before. He was like a Blair. He came from nowhere. They look the same. Zapatero, Sarkozy, and Blair could be like genetically engineered fucking things. That's what made me active about Strauss-Kahn the other day, because I was so bored of political predictability. It was so obvious that Strauss-Kahn was going to be the next one, because he's a Bilderberger, he's in the IMF, was in the IMF, and they want someone like that in the middle of fucking France, because I think they've got some pretty fucking dark plans. And it's really an interesting time to be alive right now, because there's lots of things going on.
Yeah.
People are waking up more and more and more, and with this crisis and all the rest of it, people are starting to get sick of it now.
Yeah.
And I've been waiting for this day for a long time, because I've been sick of it for 20 years, because I understood how these things work. And I was taught about that in my economics lesson in school, about the IMF actually, and how they destroy countries, and that's what they've done. Because someone was saying to me, oh, but Strauss-Kahn, you know, it was good to have someone like a European in the IMF, because they were going to help Greece and Portugal and that. No, they're not going to help anyone. They didn't help people. The IMF, they They're a money-making institution. That's what they do. They're not here to have. Sounds nice, International Monetary Fund. Sounds like a really lovely thing to help all the poor people. I don't know. They're the same fuckers that robbed us and have been corrupted us out of all the money, because that's the problem, is corruption. Money is pissed away. There's plenty of money in the world, and resources. I mean, money is an abstract concept, but resources, there's enough of it for all of us. We just need to organise it in a better way, and not let people amass so much that they can't even use it. How much money do you need? How much do you need in your life to get by? You know, I'm really happy when I can pay my rent and I can eat and I can feed my family, and I have a little bit left over to spend on bikes and things that I like. And that's really enough for me. I don't have any aspirations to be rich or famous or anything else. And I wish, and most people are false, and most people have less than they need, and that's, and for the fucking sake of these greedy fucking bastards who engineer these things to just suck.
Yeah, that's right.
And we're paying now increased taxes to pay for this bailout, to pay for these fucking banks, and they're still taking their these guys are terrorists. These guys are fucking terrorists. 40,000 people die every single day because of this system, and that's a Holocaust every fucking year. That's. I think I did the sums, and I think it's 19 million people a year die from starvation, lack of basic medical things, lack of basic shelter. That's the population of Sweden die every year. That's not a way for modern humanity to live. We're supposed to be intelligent creatures. We've got lots of technologies on our side, and it's time that we started to use it to not even share and make it fair, but just give people what they need to do the things. The tragic waste of humanity is there's so much potential. I know so many musicians who were great, talented musicians, but because of circumstance, they had to stop doing music, and now they're working in banks or in offices, or if they can find work at all. And it's a tragic race. And writers and artists and script writers. I mean, how many Hollywood fucking films do you see? Remakes, old good film. And I'm thinking, are people not writing scripts anymore? Yeah, of course they're writing scripts. Of course people are sat there burying away writing their little things, which no one will probably ever see, sadly. But because everything becomes so formalised and boring, no one takes any interest in it. And that's a sad thing as well, because you feel like you're going backwards. You look at the late 60s and 70s, as far as culture, certainly as far as films were concerned, that was when the greatest films were made. Then, fucking Spielberg comes along, formalises it with Jaws and all the rest of it. I mean, Jaws is a great film, don't get me wrong, I really liked it.
Yeah, but Jaws 2, Jaws 3,
Jaws
the Revenge.
And then Close Encounters of the Third Kind, but then it started to get all of this, and now every single film you see, for example, as soon as the first title comes up, there's music, all the fucking way through. A great example is the film The Road. Have you seen The Road? Or the book The Road. Everyone made a big fuss about this film, and sorry about the book, and I did read the book, and I have to say I was slightly disappointed by it. The film was quite a good version of the book. They did stick to the book quite well, and it was pretty much how I imagined it when I was reading it. But they pan it out with fucking music all the way through. Nick Cave as well. It doesn't matter. It's after the end of the world, some terrible. I mean, you know the story.
Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah. So you know the story. It's after some apocalypse, which is never really made clear what the fuck it is. There will be no music. And the guy, at one point in the film, an hour or so into the film, they find a hand, and he sees a piano, and he lifts up the thing and he plays a chord on the piano. It's completely out of tune, but just the one chord, the music just makes the guy burst into tears. And really, that's probably one of the more touching points in the film. But because you've heard music all the way through the film, it doesn't touch you in the same way. It would have been much more intelligent to have nothing, no music, and then when you hear that chord, you're with the guy. You're like, oh yeah, fuck, imagine you haven't heard music for so long. And I don't understand why people don't have this sort of holistic approach to art. Mainly because it's business, and that's why I'm lucky, because my label guy, you met him, he's a fan of music more than anything else. He's not a businessman, which which is great, because it means that we share a vision, and he's not. I mean, obviously, that he likes me to do things. You know, for example, he said he's always pushing me to say merchandise, but I don't like to sell. I don't actually like touching money. I don't like it. I need it, but I hate it. And I certainly don't like, after I poured my heart and soul out to people, to then start belittling it by trading money for CDs. And when I used to take CDs, I used to give them to people because it seemed to be the logical thing to do. And even people say, you should make an announcement that you're selling CDs. No, because that's not what the fuck music's about. It's so much more than that. Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm looking for Noemi.
In the bar.
In the bar?
Bar just next to the catering.
Thank you.
Cheers. So anyway, well, that was a happy break in that bit. But no, because I'm still talking about the terrorist things, and I resent being treated like a criminal all the time. God knows what I'm going to have to go through tomorrow to get to Japan. Shoes off, belt off, and all this kind of thing. Most people are not terrorists. And one thing that interested me that happened last year or the year before was what I call the panty bomber, the guy that tried to blow himself up on a plane. Now I could see that coming because they were talking about these X-ray scanners before, and these X-ray scanners are big money-making exercises for people who are probably in the government and Goldman Sachs and all these people, because that's the amazing thing about the internet. You can easily find out who's connected to people by just going, okay, Goldman Sachs, that guy, oh shit, that guy's now he's a financial minister for this. And now I see how it's working. Oh yeah, that's right. And that's what it was. It was that. And then the guy with his pants who tried to explode his pants. You remember this happened? And they used that as an excuse. I mean, I'm not that stupid. And I know when they're talking about these body scanners, and then of course the first reaction is people go, well, I don't know about that. I don't really see that. And then it's taxpayers again that's going to pay for all that. Karim, they're all at the bar. Go to the catering and go outside into the bar. That's where they should be. And so not only are we then forced to reveal ourselves naked. I'll tell you a funny story about that, because in Russia they've got them already. And I was in Russia with Jan Tiersen when I was touring with him. And I didn't even realise what it was until I was inside it. I was like, oh my god, it's a fucking X-ray thing. Anyway, so I went then because as well, it's not like, if you could walk in with your bags and everything, you don't have to empty your things, I can say, yeah, okay, well it saves a lot of time because you walk in and stuff. I still wouldn't like it, and I wouldn't agree to it unless I was absolutely forced to. But it doesn't. You still got to do that. You still got to take everything out, take your belt off and everything out. Then you've got to stand like that. And even then, they were like, what's that? And I was like, well, it's material. It's like it's folded over because that's what happens with clothes. Anyway, I got through, and I was packing my stuff up, and two women came after me, and I didn't look, but I could see the screen. I mean, I could have looked if I wanted to. Anyway, the two women go through, and then no one has gone through. And then I look at the screen, and there's me, and she's spinning my arse around, looking at my arse. I couldn't believe it. So, that's the shit that happens at this kind of thing. I mean, I don't care, but I don't care. Look at my arse, I don't care. Don't fucking say that it's all this high and mighty thing and that no one will ever abuse the images and this, that, and the other. I mean, there's nothing terrorist about my arse. Well, maybe certain times, but not normally. Anyway, so that's what I'm sick of. I'm sick of this, and I'm sick of everyone just going, terrorists, oh yeah, security. Like, I heard some guy explaining to his kids why he wasn't allowed to take liquids on there. And then he just said, yeah, because they found some people were going to blow up a plane with some liquids, and they caught them, and luckily, and that's why we're not allowed. And I was so tempted to say, well, no, actually, because when they took them to court, they found that there was no evidence against them. That yes, that they had some hydrogen peroxide, which you can get from anywhere, but there was no proof. The actual charges, because that's the way the media plays things. They do big arrests, big arrests. 12 terrorist cell. Then, when they find out that 8 of them are just students, or that perhaps they are quite into Islam, but that doesn't make them fucking terrorists. My original point is that it makes it racist, because as I said, with Spain there was ETA, with France, there was the Algerian, I forget the name of the group or so, and whatever. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I mean, I always thought before this new wave of terrorism that terrorism only happens for a reason. It doesn't happen because people enjoy doing it or take any pleasure from it. It's normally because people are so fucking desperate. The other thing it does is draws attention away from the Palestinian issue, which is not a religious issue, and most people involved in the conflict in Palestine, on the Palestinian side rather, are not doing it in the name of Islam. Islam has nothing to do with it. They might well be Islamic, but they are not acting. They are acting as nationalists, if you like. It's a political action. It's not a religious action. And people are really stupid, general people, because they like to make associations. You can see that because you can just look at any YouTube comment on anything, and you'll see how fucking stupid it is. Or a CNN story,
that's right.
or anything else. I mean, you can really see. And then, of course, CNN they throw out the buzzwords, so you make the connections yourself. And you know, I even found myself sometimes, like, let's say that a guy comes on with the beard and the hat and everything, and I even found myself a bit like, ooh, and then catch myself. For fuck's sake, if there's one person who's not going to blow up this train, it's that dude. If there is someone, it's probably the fucking CIA agent behind him. So, you know, it's all this obsession with terrorism.
Yeah, it's all about fear.
Of course it is. Of course it is. You know, the Cold War was great for them. They stockpiled their fucking arms, which they're still doing. Which most of these arms are irrelevant anyway. All the arms they used in Iraq and Afghanistan, it's not big weapons. They do throw out their fucking with the shells, which then fucking leave radiation everywhere. Terrible things. these things. Dirty bombs. But they've got like nuclear tipped things, and it causes loads of radiation, which of course then causes ongoing problems for everyone. And anyway, that's that. But luckily now people are waking up to the fact that we're paying a lot of taxes, and actually we're not getting good value for money. I mean, if you just look at it from a capitalist point of view, which I'm not a capitalist, but let's pretend I'm a capitalist at the moment, I pay quite a lot of taxes, as everyone does, and not just income taxes, but every time. One in €5 goes to the government whenever you spend it. Plus, on top of that, then if you smoke or drive a car or drink beer, plus your income tax, plus speeding fines and things like this, because that's a tax. That's a tax you pay to go fast. And we don't get very good value for money, I don't think, for that. We should be living in a perfect society, and that's one of my... Coming back to the point, there's plenty of resources, there's plenty of things. We organise things. Everyone could live very comfortably, more comfortably than I live, perhaps not as comfortably as some people live, but, you know, way beyond the average thing. And because that's what people, they don't understand. They say, oh, but if we were to have, for example, in England, at the NHS, the National Health Service, well, where are we going to get the money to prop up the... Well, from the fucking shady arms deals that you're doing with your fucking mates to just make millions of bombs which will then become obsolete within 3 years and then have to be buried somewhere. That happens all the time. Millions, billions wasted. The Pentagon misplaced, not spent, lost $1 trillion in the year 2000. $1 trillion fucking dollars. That is $3,000 per man, woman and child in America in 1 year. That doesn't include the dark projects that they're doing, the technological bullshit that they spend, the planes and all the rest of it that they spend vast amounts of money on. That is just money that's disappeared off the face of the earth and is completely unaccounted for. So anyone who tells me that there's no money to spend on social programs and prison, how much does it cost to keep someone in prison? You could give someone a decent wage for that. And if you did give them a decent wage, they probably wouldn't go to prison because they'd be happy. You invest this money in helping young people to start small businesses instead of forcing young people to work in big businesses where they'll never have any hope of doing anything real with their life. You know, people are amazing when their potential is given, and each and every single person on the face of the planet wants to do something. I don't believe that there's a single person who just goes, you know, I don't want to do anything at all. And to be honest, even if you do, good luck to you. I did it for 3 years and I got so bored that I went, okay, fucking hell, I've got to do something. And maybe that's a part of life, you know. It's this whole, it's just a massive, massive waste. So that was my little thing, if you treat us all like terror, because it starts a discussion. And I do believe that people, the more they are oppressed, the more likely they do become, not necessarily terrorists, but you'll see, which we are seeing right now in Spain. Greece, it's almost a civil war now. And actually Greece is way ahead of the rest of Europe, and I don't mean that in a futuristic sense. I mean that what is happening in Greece will soon happen in the rest of Europe, I firmly believe, which is massive protest. But now the fascists are rising, and the fascists have joined, the police have joined the fascists. And that is a terrible situation, because it will end in a civil war. And any time it's happened in history before, when people start going left, extreme left and extreme right, it will end in a civil war. And God alone knows what will happen after that. The only high point of that is that it's chaotic, and it's going to throw the IMF and all these people, they're not going to know what to do, because they're no longer in control of the situation. And that's another thing I love about the Strauss-Kahn thing, is because they must have been running around when Strauss-Kahn was about, oh, what the fuck? Because they timed it so perfectly. He hadn't even announced that he was going to go for the presidency. He was their guy. And now, I'd be interested to see if there's some young guy that suddenly comes from nowhere in the Party Socialist, and then is the new, like, Blair. Who will then go on to do what Blair did, which is destroy socialism. As Zapatero did in Spain. Anyway, so in Spain people are taken to the streets now, and the police, like the fucking idiots that they are, decided to remove them. Peaceful demonstrators. I'm not talking about people smashing stuff. They were sat in Sol, I don't know whether you know Madrid, but it's a huge square in Sol, and people were just sat there. It was 5 in the morning. People sit there and walk and chat there all day and night, any day of the week. But the police decided to move them on, which of course inflamed the whole of Spain. Spain has a living memory of fascism and attempted coups and things like that. So they take it quite hard, that kind of thing, and that's what I love about the Spanish. But that's happening now. Portugal were ahead of Spain actually for the protest. England, loads of protests, and it's gonna, the whole of Europe is gonna be, and they've been trying to stop it, because the first Greek protest, there was nothing in the press, nothing anywhere.
Oh, sorry. Just they asked me to put this.
Oh, splendid, thanks so much.
You're welcome.
So what they tried to do, their worst fears are now coming, and they've done too much. It's like when you play chess and you balance too much on one piece that's behind everything. That's what I believe, the government and the system behind the governments, because governments to me are just different faces. They're not there. There's nothing, when you vote for one or the other, it doesn't make any fucking difference. They do what they're going to do, and everyone knows that now, and everyone can see that. And now they start to do things that really start to fuck with people. They're just saying, no, fuck this. And it is a good time. Probably, I'm off to Japan tomorrow, as I said earlier. The revolution will probably fucking happen while I'm on the other side of the fucking planet, so that'll be classic. Because I quite like to be involved in some way, you know.
Yeah.
But I am in my own sweet way, you know, because... Anyway, whatever. But anyway, sorry, I'm massively rambling now.
No problem.